One, two. Rodney?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and a late evening to all of you who are following us here in this live channel. And welcome to the second round of the SRL F1 Esports Championship in Sri Lanka. After an exciting race at Silverstone, where the first blood was claimed by Savirat Naika in the Alpine, after a good comeback from the lower positions, after the incident into lap 1, who qualified here at the top, he was the one who basically claimed the win at Silverstone. And we are here at Spa, another classic track, and qualifying has begun with the drivers, and the qualifying has begun. Sorry once again to the audience if you're able to. We started the stream a bit late. We just wanted to make sure that you guys have a good stream right throughout the whole qualifying and the race. So it's gonna be 10 minutes. So we are at the 6 minutes right now, with drivers already put in their lap times. And once again, it's a short qualifying session, and drivers will put in their maximum. They pull out their maximum skills to put in their fastest lap, which is gonna basically form the grid for the race, which is gonna start in just about 7 to 8 minutes. So, Murray, what do you think so far of the championship this season?
ඔව් චලිත අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් වුණා කලින් සවි රේස් එක දිනනත් එක්ක අපි කොහොම තරඟ කීපයක් දැක්කා. බලමු අද ඊට ගිය සතියට වඩා පොඩ්ඩක් අද පාටිසිපේෂන් අඩුයි. කට්ටියගේ එක හේතු ඇති කමන්නේ වුණාට අපිට ඕවරෝල් පාටිසිපේෂන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන 8ක් දැනට. එයාලා හොඳට ක්වොලිෆයි එක රන් කරනවා. බලමු දැනට මෙලෝ තමයි ඉන්නේ පෝල් පොසිෂන් අරන්. ඒත් එක්කම හොඳ රේස් එක බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි අදත්. අද කට්ටිය ස්ට්‍රැටජිස් මොනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. දැන්ට සොෆ්ට්වෙස් කම්පවුන්ඩ් එකෙන් තමයි කට්ටිය පදින්නේ C5 එකෙන් ක්වොලිෆයිං එක.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Murray. So I think if race control now, I think we are on with Savi, who's actually on his fast lap right now. If we can basically get basically before we get started, once again I'd like to thank everyone today here at Race Control. So we got More, who's gonna be commenting by my side today, and we've got Hatita, who is at Race Control, monitoring all the feed, all the drivers at Race Control, and we've got Sash, who's basically giving us the feed once again, the stream once again to you guys on our Facebook and YouTube channels. So if Sash can basically get us on board a driver starting a lap, I can maybe give it a go. I'm still a noob here. I'm not Martin Brother-in-law or Crofty, but I can give I can try to give a lap guide. So let's see. I think Andrew outlap එක දින්නේ or
Andrew outlap එක දැන් පටන් ගන්න හදන්නේ.
All right. So here we go now. On at the exit of the bus stop chicane, we are on to the extended pit lane since 2006. And I think, I think it was on the flying lap. Yes. Let's see who's gonna
next. Balamu.
If Abdullah in the Alfa Romeo, or see if Savi has come out again.
Navirat Elliot who then again.
Okay, keep it on. Let's keep it on Rashita, who's in P6. Rashita is out. He's in front of Andrew. He's just come out. Yeah, let's keep it on Andrew. Let's keep it on Andrew. Let's keep it on Andrew, and he's on the outlap preparing his tires. So in just a couple of corners, Race Control, just keep it on Andrew, and I'm just gonna try give it again a lap guide. So I think this year, without Fawzul taking part, Murray, I think there's a bit more of a feisty competition between the drivers. Neither.
Fawzul hitiyan නැත්නම් කොහොමද හැම වෙලේම first ගහනවා.
Yeah, if he's watching the feed, I think we all miss him, and I'm sure that he'll be කලින් කිව්වාගේ කලින් අපි ෆලෝ කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාලා දන්නා තියෙන 2021 චැම්පියන්ෂිප් එක තියෙන්නේ ෆවුසුල්. Yep.
රන අප්ක ඔයා නේද චලිත?
Yeah. Run up was me. I really wish if I can be in the stream more, but unfortunately, due to circumstances involving the government and all, I've been kicked out of the country. All right. So let's go on board, Sash, with Andrew, who's gonna start in the lap. He's at the bus stop chicane, and let's see if he can get through this. So he crosses the line right now. We are on to the extended pit lane since 2006, braking heavily into turn 1, lassos, hairpins, second gear. Plenty of space for the drivers to tangle with each other. Many incidents down in the past. Now the driver's eyes is down the hill here at Eau Rouge. The car compresses at the bottom of the hill, up the crest into Radion, into 8th gear, opens up the DRS, and starts to squeeze out that little bit of ERS as we go down the Camel Straight. Here the speeds are reaching about between 335 to 340, and we are onto Lacombe chicane, which is 5 and 6, and then shift down into 7. He uses heavily the exit curb, and down the hill we go. Pam into fourth gear. Keep the car to the inside as most you can, and then quickly shift up and again take the exit, and then again take the exit of the curb. Down the hill the car streams down into Pouon, which is 10 and 11, into 7th gear. Last year the cars did 8th gear flat out. In 5th, and then now in 5th gear, 175 kilometers per hour, turn 12 and 13, the Fanny chicane. Look at how the car changes direction, and we are onto Stavilo 1 and Stavilo 2, which are two left-handers. Here the drivers now on the dashboard will know if they have done a good lap overall. And now the drivers has a bit of a pause, which is the back straight with Kings of 16 and 17. Blanchimont, here we go, 320 kilometers per hour, 8th gear, and now we are coming down onto the second heaviest braking zone, which is the bus stop chicane. The drivers rely on the curves and make sure that to slowly squeeze that throttle, otherwise the car spins around. We are coming onto the straight. Andrew crosses the line as he's done a 149.949, and he's in 4th place.
4th place, 44 yep. 1 second improvement.
Yes. I don't know, Murray, but it looks like still Melo isn't pushing that much, because I saw in the practice server that he was doing 142s. So I think there's that bit of pressure to. I think they're saving a bit of lap time in them.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Right, so we are with Melo.
Practice. තාමක් එකේ ඉඳන් දැන් ක්වොලිෆයි එකට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් conditions.
Okay. So that's good to know. I think the conditions have changed from the practice tarmac on to the quali session and the race. So I think that's why we are seeing a bit of, let's say, I would say, closer gaps between the top 5 actually.
Dynamic විදියට තියෙන හින්දා කැම්ප් එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. තාමක්.
Yep.
Temperatures, ambient temperatures.
Right. Yeah, so I think the drivers are also trying to find. I think quali is over, right, Murray?
Yes. මේක overtime යන්නේ. Overtime දැන්ට කට්ටිය.
I think
stable වෙනකන් ඉඳලා අපි ඊළඟ session එකට යනවා.
ඊළඟ session එකට යමු. Right, so on pole position we've got Melo. Second place we got Abdullah. Third place we got Savi Ratnaik in the Alpine. The other Ferrari in 4th. We got Navira in 5th. Rashita in 6th. Sanuka in 7th, and Anuka in 8th. So here are the 8 cars who will be taking part in today's race. As More said, some of the drivers couldn't take because of personal commitments, of course. But in the next race, I think the guys will be up.
Yeah, අපි බා. තව විනාඩියක් වගේ තියෙන්නේ. සෙෂන් එක මාරු වෙන.
Right, so I think right now the drivers are basically trying to put in their race setup on and making sure that they've got their pit strategies correct. I think last minute they'll see what tires they'll be starting on. What tires so far is, I think they're starting on the C1 So Melo is starting on the C1, on which is the hardest.
ගිය සතියේ රේස් එකත් hard tire compound එකෙන් පටන් අරගෙන software ගිහපු කට්ටිය පොඩ්ඩක් ඉස්සරහට යනවා අපි දැක්කා. ඒත් හැබැයි සවිගේ ස්ට්‍රැටජිය සම්පූර්ණ වෙනස් විදිහට තිබ්බේ ගිය සතියේ. අන්තිමට තමයි hard එක දැම්මේ.
Yeah. I think Savi right now is on the C2. He's going one step softer than Melo, and I think Andrew is also on the C2 tire, so it's again one step softer. So let's see how the strategy pans out. By looking at the lap times, I think Melo is having a speed. By looking at the lap times in the server, Melo is in the 340s at maximum top speed, if I'm correct, More.
Yeah.
Which means that Melo is running a low downforce setup for Spa. Okay. Now Spa is pretty much. I'll get on to that. I think as the cars are coming onto the grid, so we're about to start the race.
What time grid again?
So, yep. So we are on to the grid.
1 minute වගේ තියෙනවා lights වලට.
Right. So the suspense is building up, guys. It's race 2 of this eagerly fought championship. The lights will come on, and as Martin Brundle always says, you look at the lights, but you never stare at those, because they just go off as soon as. By the time goes out, they go off as quickly as possible. And you have
හරි කට්ටිය ගොඩක් අයගේ ping stable වුණා දැන්.
All right.
Abdullah P2 grid position P2 හොඳයි අපි then unfortunately at කලින් සතියේ did not finish.
Yeah. He had, I think, maybe a connection issue. I think he was coming up pretty nicely up on the grid in Silverstone, up in the race side. So the lights are on. When the 5 lights go out, as Crofty says, it's lights out and away we go. That's a great start by Melo, and Savi. I hope that there won't be any into Lasso. So you go. I think everyone is behaving quite well. Now who's gonna get the slipstream? Who's gonna go get a slipstream off Melo and try to have a run into the Lecombe chicane? I think no one is. Basically, I think Savi is gonna take a slipstream out of Abdullah. And Abdullah takes the lead from Melo. Abdullah is leading. Nice. He goes down the inside, and that's it. And is that Savi Ratnayaka who crashes into Lecombe? Yes, he is. Savi has crashed. Oh my goodness me. Savi has crashed. Yeah, by the looks of it, it's either Navira or Rashita who basically had the tangle with Savi Ratnayaka, and he's basically slipped down. His slip down place is now showing us into 6th place. And Andrew seems to be in Puon, seems to have gone out.
Oh, it's now
everything. And Navira again is and spins out. So Abdullah is leading. Melo is in 2nd. So Melo still has a chance to get the lead in lap 2. Yeah, I thought the dramas are gonna be into turn 1 into Lassos, but as last year. But I think it's all over the place. So the cars are quite spread. The car quite spread out now. Melo here is now lining up for a move, so and close. They tangle into. Oh, they tangle at the bus stop chicane. And Rashid is in the lead. Rashid is in the lead. This is a good race, guys. This is a good race.
Talking about taking advantage.
Melo takes the advantage. Melo takes the advantage of Rashita's mess up into turn 1, and he's now ahead of Rashita.
But within me dennaga loku fight balagan puluwan isirata.
Yeah, if Rashita has a good race pace, and I think he has basically practiced up his race since Silverstone. I think he told me after having a chat. I was having a chat with him during the weekend. He doesn't want to focus on qualifying. He wants to focus on the race. I think that's what he's doing so far.
ඒත් එකම සේෆ් වෙන්නත් ඕනේ නැත්තම් පේනවනේ.
Yeah. And he just minded his business, and now he's into P2 after starting from P6 with all the dramas going around. So Melo is leading the race. Rashita is in second place, Navira in third, Andrew in fourth, and Savi Ratnayaka is in fifth. Has Savi
for repairs? Savi පිටට නැහැ. මම හිතන්නේ නවීරට ෆස්ට් ලැප් ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකක් ඉඳලා ලොකු පෙනල්ටි එකක් වදී. මොකද ස්ටුවර්ඩ් අපේ බලන් ඉන්නේ.
Okay.
Race control again.
So race control, I think, has informed us guys that Navira is being looked into for the possible collision with Savi. Savi now is into fourth place, and I think Andrew might have had another issue because he slipped down into fifth with Savi. I wonder if Savi is carrying any damage from that shunt, because that was a pretty good hit into the barriers.
Barriers certainly, yeah.
So as we are following Andrew last year, mind you guys, so I was racing, so there was a huge mishap into turn one. I was qualified in fourth, and I took the lead, and I led the race for about.
Andrew pit karna pit pe na.
Yes, so I think he will be changing strategy. He'll be putting any repairs if he has any damages. So Andrew was one of the guys which actually impressed me the most in last year's race. He was running the lowest, extremist, low downforce setup that anyone who was running. So he was blitzing past onto the straight. So I think it was 3-2 rear wing, so 3 at the front, 3 clicks at the front and 2 at the rear. And when I tried that setup by myself after the race, I was basically losing the rear end into the twisted section, which is the second sector, which we see now Melo going. So in corners like this, the car just snaps out. So Andrew likes to have a low downforce, a lighter car, and he's able to handle that oversteer that the car gives him even in the twisted sections. But I think this year with these cars, it's pretty hard to run those level of setups. I think from what the drivers have been telling us with the RSS 2022 car.
එකම දැන්ට ලැප් 3 එක යන්න අපේ කට්ටියගේ දැන්ටම ගැප්ස් හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ වෙච්ච කලිෂන්ස් එක. ඉස්සරහට මොනවද දන්නේ දැන්ට අබ්දුල්ලා එකත් වැඩි. සවි සහ නවීර අතර තමයි අඩුම ගැප් එක තියෙන්නේ 2 seconds වගේ. දැන්
so Savi is trying to come again into the podium places, and so as More said, we've got gaps. The cars are quite spread out, and Savi is actually coming into the pits. I think that's a very good choice. If he does the repairs, I think he has a high chance of even coming up behind in front of Andrew. But I think Andrew has been putting in some purple lap times, and I think he's going to go past Savi as soon as Savi comes out. Anyone Abdullah is into the pits. So it's a 23 lap race. So I think these guys are coming in because either the tires have gone up with those pins, and they want to put on a set of new boots. So Andrew comes into La Source into turn one, and he just pips Savi. So Savi comes behind Andrew. So I think now that I think Savi also has a fairly sort of a new car actually with the repairs that he has done, and so is Andrew. So they'll be looking at this race at damage control to score as much as points as possible. So let's look at the race places right now. We are on lap 4. So Melo is leading, followed by Rashita, who is 3.8 seconds behind him, keeping at it and trying to make sure that Melo doesn't scamper away. And we got Navira in third place, who's also being looked at by the stewards in race control for the collisions in lap 1. Anuka is in fourth, Andrew is in fifth, and Savi is in sixth. So Andrew and Savi has just pitted and put onto new boots. And Abdullah is also in seventh, who has also pitted as well. And we got Sanuka in eighth.
Nice. Tekkama දැනට අඩුම ගැප් එක තියෙන්නේ සවි ඇන්ඩ්‍රෝ එක. දෙන්නම හાર્ඩ් කම්පවුන්ඩ් එකේ ඉන්නේ. අට පේන ටීට වරග පෙන්න්න C1 කම්පවන්් කියන හඩ කම්පව් එක ඉන්ද දෙන්නකම රේස් පේස් එක කියන්නේ ටයස් වලින් මුකුත් වෙනසක් වෙන්නේ දෙන්නගේ ස්කිල් ගන්නවා තමා දැන් මෙතන රේස් එක තීරණය වෙන්නේ like question.
I think the track conditions, as you said, are quite different, and the guys are still struggling so much to keep the cars on track. So, which is kind of good. I think on Assetto Corsa, I don't think that we can put weather effects and rain because the game is not as much as updated. Even though it's a very good sim game and it's still got very good graphics, I think the wet condition is still a bit out of the question, and so the drivers have put dynamic weather setup to basically simulate different conditions to practice laps.
Sanuka did not finish. Then discounted Latino. Sorry.
So yeah, Sanuka is DNF, so I think he's also another sad driver who had to succumb onto, I think, the SLT's connection issues. So sad to lose him. I think I feel for the driver. I had the same issue in Monza last year, so.
Yeah,
I think if he joins, he can still take part in the race. He can still take part in the race. I mean, anything can happen.
Wow, Anuka P4. That Anuka got up to us. I take a hurry and do it. I have to pass Anuka.
Oh, and
Anuka spin.
Yeah, Anuka had a spin, so I think there might have been an issue between Anuka and Andrew. So let's see. So Savi now is up to 5th. So Andrew is now 26 seconds behind Navira. And I think Melo, Rashita and Navira haven't pitted yet. So Andrew and Savi have both pitted. So I think still, this race can happen for Andrew and Savi. We don't know. Oh, and that's once again there is an issue with the
slight oversteer.
Yeah. The typical oversteer, the bus stop chicane. So it's a very, very tricky setup that you have to have. Last year, I remember, I reduced the entire roll bar for the rear, and that, however, compromises me in the second sector more because I don't have that much drive into second sector. So it's drivers still wants to have an agile car, but when you have an agile car and when you get too overly excited at the bus stop, you tend to lose the rear end. And
2021 car gattama meka godak wenasak tiyena kalinට වඩා.
Yes.
car එක එන්නත් තරක් වුණා.
Yeah, and yeah, because Racing Studio, I think most of you all know, as you know, people in the same world know that Racing Studio are situated in Ukraine. In the Racing Studio team is situated in Ukraine, so they've been affected by the war that is going on with Russia. So this year they have delayed quite a bit the car, but the car they have released is heavily modded. And we've got another spin of Abdullah. What is happening here, guys?
Green sector එකට ගියා තන කොන්ක්‍රීට් එක.
Right.
careful වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම හිතන්නේ වැදුනා කියලා ලොකුවට. අවුලක් නැහැ. යා කන්ටිනියු කරන රේස් එක.
He pitted also onto a new set right before.
Yes.
Right. So that compromises his race once again. But at the front we've got Melo and Rashita, and Rashita, who is now 9 seconds behind Melo. Melo is cruising. Melo is cruising right at the front. I think even in Silverstone, I think we saw Melo having the upper hand for most of the race until he had those bit of issues, basically those couple of mistakes while fighting with Savi. Otherwise, it looked to be a Ferrari 1-2. We didn't know whether it was Andrew who's going to win, but it was Melo who was having the upper hand right throughout. And then Savi, with a good comeback, was really pretty strong as well. And Savi then basically took the win out of Melo's hands. And we see now Melo cruising through victory beyond lap 7, and he's going to finish lap 7 on to 8, and he's 10 seconds ahead of Rashita in the Mercedes.
ගැන් කොච්චර පේස් එක තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ මිස්ටේක්ස් වෙනවා නම් කොහොමද ඩවුන් වෙනවා grid එකේ.
Yes, I think that's a very
consistent වෙනවා.
Yeah, that's a very that's something that Fawzul actually taught me last year. He told me do as much laps as possible. Try to be consistent in your lap times, less mistakes, and that comes with more practice. The more you practice, the more lap time you can basically get out of it. Don't always try to look for being the fastest, but be consistent, and that's where the strength comes in.
පේන මෙලෝගේ පේස් එක වැඩිද මන්ද 11 second වෙලා දිනවා.
Yeah, I think he's taken out 1 second in that lap itself, so I think he's having the fastest lap time right now.
අශිතගේ ෆියුල් මොන හරි වෙනසක්ද දන්නේ.
I wonder if Rashita has half filled the car until the first pit stop, or he has fully filled the car. I think he has fully filled the car because the car looks pretty lethargic to me. So he might have fueled to the end of the race.
Fast වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Yeah. So I think Mello even last year, I think he was the one who basically told me half filled the car for half race distance, and then when you come in to put in the remaining laps.
පොට්ටක් එනේවිය දැක්කා.
Yeah, Rashita trying to keep his Mercedes under control, but he's doing a very good. Navira. Okay, we are Navira. Okay, apologies, guys. More, what is the audience saying this time around? If you have the comments from our social media, do we have any interaction?
Ferrari එක ස්පින් වෙච්ච එකට S2J ZX සිතේ දාලා දෙනවා ස්පින් අලා කියලා ෆෝමියුලා ඩ්‍රිෆ්ට්. Nice one. Curio. I think that was the spin on කියලා දාලා දෙනවා happened so left on bus stop ඔය ගත්තා.
Yeah. That's true, Curio.
අශිතර චිය කරලා දෙනවා කට්ටිය. ඒක හොඳයි.
Good to see the audience.
Live එක බලන කට්ටියට අපි subscribe කරන්න, Facebook බලනවා නම් follow කරන්න, like කරන්න.
Yeah, we want as much as audience as possible, guys, because not only we are organizing these tournaments just it's not just for fun, but it's also to increase awareness that Sri Lanka has got quite a good sim races pool, and we just want to make ourselves known to the world. And actually we are with drivers like Fawzul, Savi, Andrew, who are taking part in ACC and iRacing tournaments, and I think More, we have had quite good results this year, isn't it?
කලින් අවුරුද්දට මේ අවුරුද්දේ පොඩක් කොවිඩ් කේස් එකක හින්දා අපිටත් බැරි වුණා පොඩක් රේස් වල පාටිසිපේට් වෙන්න. ඒ වුණාට 2021 ඊයේ එක ගත්තොත් ගොඩක් හොඳයි. අපි ගොඩක් 24 hour races උනත් පැද්දා iRacing එකේ. ඔයාලට මතකයි.
And not so long ago we finished in the top 10.
අනිවාර්යෙන් top 10 එකේ. ඒක ලෙමොන්ස් එන්න ඕනේ. 24.
Yes, exactly. I think it was Lemons. So it's a wonderful thing that our boys have put in Sri Lanka up there as as one of the top into the top 10 with international teams in iRacing. So once again, congratulations, guys, for all that you have done, and all the audience, please put us a like, subscribe, and share our channels out there to to spread the word around.
ටිකෙන් ටික කොහමද අපි දැන් ඉන්නේ ලීඩත් එක්ක මේන් කැපේ
we got the two
Abdullah හමාරි අනුකව පාස් කරගන්නවා.
Yeah, so the two teammates are battling up for sixth and 7th, with Abdullah taking over into 6th place, and we got Savi right now, who is 9 seconds. Savi has dropped from Andrew. I think I saw one of his stories during qualifying or before qualifying that he doesn't feel the confidence in this car in this track this time around. So I think that's something that he's going to actually look into, and he's going to come back stronger for the next race.
බලමු මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා.
Yep. And
නවීරත් එක්කම මම තුයි රෂිතට ටික රන් කරනවා වගේ මට අපිට පේන විදිහට 3.5 seconds වෙලා තියෙනවා.
Yeah, it was 4 seconds. So Rashita hasn't pitted yet, right?
Oh, pit කරලා නැහැ උනට ඒ ටයර්ස් ගිහලා මොකක් කරේද? just slow වෙන්න තියන්නේ.
Yeah, I think he might be extending this stint, so it's 10 laps on the C1 tire. So Rashita is on the hardest compound.
Okay, yes. හරි.
Yeah. So he's on the hardest.
Fuel ගානට දාලා ඇති full.
Yeah.
Race full race එකන fuel දාලා මම කමර tire conserve කරලා පදින්න හදන්න අපිට පේන එකට.
Yes. He's trying to manage those tires around. So let's see if he comes into the pits. We got 10 more laps to go. No, he still goes around. He's not coming to pits just yet. So we got Navira now 2.7 and slowly catching me. So it's a battle of the Mercedes in couple of laps for sure. And Rashid
fastest lap එක Navira ගෙන් දැන්ට ආවා.
Yeah, so Navira is pumping up the fastest lap time. So thank you, More, for that. And right at the front, Melo is closing now. The gap is up to 15 seconds right now, 14.9. So 15 seconds. What a pace from Melo in the Ferrari. So Navira again blitzing those sectors. We are into sector 1. And it's now from 2.7 at the start finish line. Now we are 2.3 seconds.
තියාගන්න ඕනේ රෂිත ටයර් සේව් කරනවා නවීර සේව් කරන්නේ නැහැ. නවීර එකයි පුෂ් කරන්න ඕනේ.
Yeah, so Navira is also in C1 tires. So yeah.
Same compound.
C1 tires. Same compound. So let's see. Also, please remember, guys, that Navira might be looked into after the race for that incident with Savi. So it's still not over yet for Rashita. But Rashita is doing a good race so far, and it's better than last time around. So, hats off to him. He's, keeping the count onto the track, trying to stay off the trouble, and slowly cruising in to have a good, strong podium finish.
එතන මම දැක්කේ Mercedes එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම හිතන්නේ නවීරගෙන් වැදුනේ. නැත්තම් රෂිතගෙන් chant එක වැදුනා නම් අපි බලමු ඒක දැන්. Race control එකකින් කොහොමද penalties දෙන්නේ මේ race එක ඉවරනාට පස්සේ.
Yes. Rashita has a
අපි කිව්වා හරි. Push කරනවා tires යනවා.
That's Navira. Sorry guys, it's Navira who is I think he slowly has lost that pace onto those tires. Pushing is one thing, but trying to make sure that your tires survive the lap, survive the laps is totally another thing.
පරිස්සම් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ කාර් පදිද්දි ටයර්ස් එක.
Yes, that's kind of true. And I think Andrew right now has put in a 1:47.6 and he's now 25.8 seconds behind second and third place.
මත අපේ ෆීල්ඩ් එක කැඩලා තියෙන්නේ.
Yeah, it's
pack දෙකකට වගේ කැඩලා තියෙන්නේ.
Yeah, those incidents in lap 1 basically spread out the field, More, I think. So otherwise, I think we could have had a much more closer field, like we had in Silverstone. So
this is start එකත් ඔක්කොම හොඳයි පොඩ්ඩක් මැදට යද්දි කට්ටිය එක්සයිට් වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ෆයිට් කරන්න ගන්නවා. කට්ටියම lose control ඊට පස්සේ.
I was putting my money, More, on we have a car slowing down, and that's Anuka. Anuka is actually
giving way. Slowly हमारे पास ना हमारे पास blue flag.
Okay. I think he's got blue flags for Navira. Navira now 3.6. I think he has lost that pace, that blistering pace that he was having. So the gap is still remaining within 3.7, 3.6 after that moment into bus stop. So let's see now how he takes the bus stop chicane this time around. Whether he's pushing. Nope, he's not pushing this time around. He's just slowly trying to. Rashita has pitted. Now let's see now where Andrew and Savi come in comparison to. Yep, I think let's see which tires now Rashita put in, and we'll see where Andrew and Savi comes compared to Rashid. Exactly. So that's a quick pit stop from Rashida. So as you said, More, what you said is true. Rashida has put in fuel through for the whole race, and Andrew, I think, will come out. I think this is going to be close, More. This is going to be close. Rashida has come out. So there's a 7-second gap, and Rashida now is on the C2, which is the softer compound than he was before, and Andrew is in C1. So Rashida has the upper hand, and let's see now. I think he's gonna basically end up in a very well earned P2.
ඒකම තව ලැප්ස් 10ක් වගේ තියෙන්නේ මේ 13th ලැප් එක යන්නේ. බලමු ඉතින් ලැප්ස් අනෝ අපේ කට්ටිය ගාන්ට ටයර්ස් ටික ස්ට්‍රැටජි ටික ගහලා දෙනවාට පේනවා. දැන් කට්ටිය ටයර්ස් මාරු කරනවා, සේව් කරනවා. ස්ට්‍රැටජි අනුව ගාන්ට ග්‍රිඩ් එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. බලමු.
Rashida is in P3, so I think Navira will have to pit in this in this lap, otherwise he's gonna have quite a big gap to Rashida. So just a bit of more info on this championship, guys. So this is the Spa-Francorchamps. This is round 2, and then next week we'll be going on to Suzuka, then Imola, Monza, Montreal, Austria, and Interlagos, which would be the season finale for this year's championship. And our trophies are being sponsored by Humore, if I'm
Sukadasa Bandar and Sons.
So once again, thanks for Sukadasa Bandar and Sons for sponsoring us the trophies for this year's championship, and I think they're pretty beautiful. So please go and check out our social media. Please go and check out our social media pages to see those and Instagram for those beautiful trophies that the top 3 drivers will earn at the end of the season. So Andrew now is 8 seconds. So as I said before, Rashida seems to have the tires now up to temperatures, and he's pulling away from Andrew. So the gap now is 8.4, and he is slowly catching Navira. Navira hasn't pitted yet, so that's. So I think Navira will come out either 6 to 7 seconds or 8 seconds behind if he keeps on going. So Navira will have to pit in if he wants to have a chance to fight Rashida for the second place. And Menlo hasn't pitted yet, so that's pretty. I don't know. I don't have any words for Melo's pace today. He hasn't pitted yet. He's still on those tires from lap 1, and he's. I think.
I thought යාගේ tires උපරිමයට ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න මොකද යාගේ gap එකත් ලොකුට ඇදලා තියෙන හින්දා 22 seconds වගේ තියෙන හින්දා.
Yeah, I think he's enjoying this ride at the front. Such a gap.
Navira.
And Navira is also
nervous. Bus stop එක nervous.
I think Navira is continuing. Rashida now is 13.6 seconds behind. He's caught up 2 seconds from the last time we checked the gap, which is several corners ago. So Rashida is catching up, and he's putting purple lap times right now. So
C2 compound
is in C2 compound. Yes, Andrew has pitted, if I'm not mistaken.
Pit karla, yes, pit karla.
Yep. So Andrew has come on to the pits, and we'll see what Savi does. I think Savi's also come out of the pits, and then I think Sami also has come out of the pits. So I think the C1 tires for some setups are easily getting a bit of wear. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the guys are suffering from graining. So that means that if the tires are not in the right temperature, especially the fronts on this track, basically they'll have a bit of graining, and they won't be able to use those tires efficiently, and the lap times is also not that great. So I think that's why they had to pit, because I think if Melo is still on that first set, I think the C1 can go quite a good distance. So I think we're on lap 16 right now. So Melo is on 16. He's on 16 laps on those tires. So it's pretty impressive. So Melo has got that setup here at Spa spot on to drive such a wonderful race. And so let's see. We've got just quite a few handful of laps to go. And Rashida now is 12.4 seconds. I think now he's doing a bit of tire management. He's not pushing too much onto these tires because he wants to go to the end of the race. Navira hasn't pit in yet, and Miller hasn't pit in yet. So the guys will have to come into the pits to put a different set of compounds because those are the rules. The drivers need to basically use two different types of compounds throughout the whole race, just like in real life.
තාමත් යාගේ ලීඩ් එකේ ඉන්නේ. කාගේ මතයට කරද යන්නේ ෆෙරාරි.
23 seconds. A Ferrari leading the race in 23 seconds. I think the last time we saw this was in real life was in Australia. The second race of the season. So
බලමු රෂිතට මම හිතන්නේ P2 වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයිද? නවීර පිට් කරොත් තමයි ඒක බලන්න ඉන්නේ නවීර කොහොමද ක්ලෝස් කියලා.
Yeah, Navira, I think he has to pit, otherwise he'll get penalized. And Melo is coming into the pits. So, ladies and gentlemen, the leader pits finally on lap 16. Navira will probably might have to pit in himself right now because the gap is now 11 seconds.
Oh, I think you're not.
Yes, he does. So Navira comes into the pits. The Mercedes with number 44.
Melo pitting out. Melo pitting out.
Yeah, it was a longer stop for Melo, so that means that proves what we said.
Rashida. Oh yes, Rashida Bhaskara.
Yeah. So Rashida is going to have a big lead with respect to Navira. I think if Navira came in at the same time, in the next lap, I think the gap would have been much more. Yeah. So like I said before, I think it was 7 to 8, so it's 9 seconds. So I think that was expected because Navira stayed out a bit longer and Rashida on the fresher tires. And Andrew is putting in some purple lap times in the C2. So let's see what he can do. He's just 21 seconds behind Navira. So can he do a bit of quali laps with his set and try to catch P3, but which is highly unlikely. He needs to be at least 2 seconds faster than the driver in front to have a chance. But if he eats his tires quite heavily, then I think.
Lap 6ක් වගේ දින්න තව ඉතුරු වෙලා. රේස් එකටම.
So he. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I think Andrew will. After the incidents, I think after lap 1, Andrew will be happy in 4th place. Savi is now into 6th place, and Savi will be a bit disappointed after that incident into Lecombe chicane in lap 1. So. I think post-race drivers briefing will be pretty much a lit Discord channel, I think.
Yeah.
So we are on with Navira right now, who's now 8.7. So he's pushing right now. So the gap was 9, and now it's 8.7. So I think he's pushing. He wants to push. He wants to try and see if he can catch Rashida. But I think we've got just only a handful laps to go, and Rashida I think has got the 2nd place well sealed in. And there's no need to talk about Melo as well. Melo is gonna win this eyes closed.
Melo මේ රේස් එක දින්න කියන්නේ ලොකු ලීඩ් එකක් හම්බෙනාට championship එකේ.
Yeah. Yes, because Sabi is down in 6. So if Sabi would have finished in the top 3, then I think the championship would have been the championship points would have been pretty close. But now Melo is gonna have he's gonna have a hefty lead in the championship in terms of points. So, More, I think let's see what we got, what our friends in the audience have been saying. Up, if you can see some of the comments, what I've been saying.
කියරියෝ දැන්ට කියල තියෙනවා ගෙස් කල දෙන්න අවිර පිටුවේ කියලා බලමු තිය ගෙනවාද කියලා යාගේ කම්පවන්් එක පොඩ්ඩක් කරකට වඩා රශිතගේ එකට වඩා සොෆ්ට් කම්පවන්්
Yeah, I think he's catching up. He's pretty much pushing now. You see, the gap is 6.3, More. So what Curio is saying, he's pretty much, he's actually close. So we'll see now. And Navi he's pushing like a madman right now. Again, he has put up a purple lap and is now 5.6 with just three laps to go. I think this is going to be touch and go in the last couple of laps. So Rashita will have to start pushing if he wants to keep this second place. So that's thank you, Curio, for pointing that out. Of course, Curio, we miss you also. We miss you. So hopefully next championship, and we can basically see you once again. So it was good racing with you last day. You had a pretty good growth, especially racing with the mouse.
කාපේ ගොඩක් අය රෙජිස්ටර් ලයිට් සමහරුන්ට යාලගේ